In today's video, I'm showing you exactly how we added $133,000 in new revenue in just 30 days for this direct-to-consumer brand. So first off, let's talk about the numbers that you actually care about here. So right off the bat, the 30 days before working with us, you can see some of the numbers here. And the 30 days after working with us, you can see some of those numbers here as well. They went from 81K a month to $215,000 a month in email and SMS revenue specifically. The percentage of the revenue that was coming from email and SMS went from 11% to 28%. This was all in just a 30-day time span, and we hit 117 grand in Black Friday week revenue alone. So a major piece of this transformation was the creative transformation. So if you read here, this brand's audience tends to not really read like long pieces of content. They kind of just like to jump on their phone quick, read a quick headline, and then click to whatever they might actually be looking for. And that's kind of like the frame of mind that we used when building out this brand's content specifically. So here you can see some of the creatives that they're running in the past. Like this stuff's very basic. It's very, it's very generic. Like it kind of just looks like it was thrown together last second if you really take a look at it. You can see our updated style was a lot more simplistic. It was a lot more engaging and like nice imagery that just pleases the eye. It looks clean. It's also very offer driven, very like benefit driven copy. And there's not a whole lot of it. It's pretty simple for the most part. Here's some more examples from just chopped out pieces of the emails that we used as examples for the new creatives that we put in place for this brand specifically. Now for these guys, we completely revamped their automations. And so before we stepped in to help them with their email and SMS marketing, the flows, AKA the automations, were extremely scattered. It was very messy. So they had some of the main flows set up here and there. So I was like abandoned cart. I think they had like a welcome flow in place possibly, but it was not a complete built out strategy by any means. So we built out all of our core flows, which you can see on this list right here. And as a result, their flow revenue alone went from 81K a month to 152K a month, again, in just 30 days. Now, shockingly enough, in terms of the campaign strategy, this brand was not sending any campaign emails out whatsoever before we started with them. So one of our immediate first steps was mapping out exactly how we wanted to treat the different segments of the list on the campaign side and what type of content we wanted to send to them. The strategy we landed on was as follows. We sent 4 to 6 total email campaigns per week with 1 SMS campaign per week. 1 to 2 of those every week was to the non-buyer segment, and then 1 email per week was to the one-time buyers segment alone. And then we filled in the different sales and promotions as needed. And then as a result, their campaign revenue alone went from $0 a month to 62K a month, again, in just 30 days. So in terms of your brand, I want you to ask yourself, are you optimizing email content with your audience in mind? This is really big because in e-commerce especially, or like any type of DTC brand, it's very easy to get in the flow of just like sending out random emails and just guessing what works. But what you want to do is you want to take your market research, so all of your customer reviews, your competitors' customer reviews, competing Amazon product reviews, social media, online forums, all that type of stuff, and let that lead into your content. That way you're actually pulling it from the market and what the market wants to hear, the questions that the market wants answered, the objections that the market has. All those types of things are the things that we want to answer and talk about and make content about in our campaign. And then obviously you have your sales and promos as well. But still, even with those, you want to make sure that it's optimized specifically for your type of audience. In this brand's example, as we talked about, we made it all very simple and easy to digest because that's who buys these products. Second question you want to ask yourself here is, are you actually leveraging the core email automations and flows? For this brand, like I told you, they only had 2 to 3 flows set up. We came in with our full 14 flow revamp and it completely changed things for their flow revenue. Third question that you want to ask yourself here is if your campaign strategy is actually using different segments strategically. For these guys, they obviously weren't even sending campaigns before we started with them. We came in and did a non-buyer, one-time buyer, and repeat buyer analysis on how we want to communicate with each of them, and that led that campaign strategy. Now, if you're looking for more revenue from your email and SMS marketing, higher customer lifetime value and customer return rate, and a team that you can trust to stay on top of everything and act as your partner for email and SMS marketing, then we'd love to work with you. I'm gonna drop a link at the top of the description for you to jump on our website, check us out a little bit more, and book a call if you think that we can actually help you solve your problems. But in the meantime, drop a like on this video, drop a subscribe on this channel, and you'll see a bunch of other valuable content, more in-depth on how we get results like this, how we achieve those types of things, so that you can implement all that stuff for your brand or your business. So yeah, with that being said, talk soon.